Billionaire Dad watches a waitress feed his disabled son. The restaurant hummed with life, forks clinking against plates, soft laughter weaving through the air. It was a cozy family diner, nothing extravagant, just a simple place where people gathered for good food and warm company. But for Jonathan Mercer, billionaire CEO of a global tech empire, it was just another unfamiliar stop on his business trip. Jonathan sat at a corner booth, his custom-tailored suit standing out against the casual ambience. Across from him, his son, Oliver, a frail 14-year-old with cerebral palsy, slouched slightly in his wheelchair. Oliver's arms trembled as he attempted to hold a spoonful of soup, but his muscles betrayed him, spilling half of it back into the bowl. His frustration was evident in his clenched jaw, but he remained silent. Jonathan checked his watch impatiently. His personal chef back home knew how to prepare Oliver's meals just right, blended, easy to swallow. Here, everything felt like an obstacle. It wasn't supposed to be like this. He had promised his late wife, Emily, that he would always care for Oliver, but no amount of money could fix his son's struggles. And no amount of wealth had prepared Jonathan for the loneliness of single fatherhood. A waitress approached, her name tag reading, Sophie. She looked to be in her late 20s, with auburn hair pulled back into a neat ponytail and a tired but genuine smile. She had noticed Oliver's struggle from across the room. "Would you like some help, sweetheart?" she asked gently, crouching beside him. Oliver hesitated, eyes darting to his father, who was staring in confusion. Jonathan was used to people being polite, even deferential, around him, business partners, employees, even strangers who recognized his face from magazine covers. But this wasn't politeness. This was something else. "Can I?" Oliver's voice was barely a whisper, but there was hope in his eyes. Jonathan swallowed hard, nodding. Sophie pulled up a chair beside Oliver and, with natural ease, scooped up a spoonful of soup, bringing it to his lips. She chatted casually as she fed him, asking about his favorite foods, his favorite movies. Oliver, usually reserved, responded with shy enthusiasm. Jonathan watched, something tightening in his chest. It had been a long time since he had seen Oliver so at ease with someone who wasn't a nurse, therapist, or tutor. Between bites, Oliver grinned. "I like Star Wars." Sophie's eyes lit up. "Me too. But only the originals. The new ones are just, meh." Oliver chuckled, and Jonathan found himself smiling, something he hadn't done in a while. When the meal was done, Oliver turned to his father. "She's nice, Dad." Jonathan nodded, suddenly at a loss for words. He reached for his wallet, pulling out a thick wad of bills, but Sophie raised a hand. "No need," she said. "I didn't do it for money." Her words struck him harder than they should have. Jonathan had spent years believing that everything, kindness, loyalty, even love, came at a price. Yet here was a woman who had given her time, her patience, expecting nothing in return. His curiosity got the better of him. "Why did you help him?" Sophie hesitated before answering. "My little brother had muscular dystrophy. I used to help him eat too. He passed away a few years ago." She glanced at Oliver with a soft smile. "When I saw him struggling, I wanted to help." A lump formed in Jonathan's throat. He had spent so much of his life surrounded by business strategies, acquisitions, and profit margins, but here, in this tiny diner, a waitress had reminded him of something he had forgotten: humanity. As Sophie walked away, Oliver tugged at his father's sleeve. "Can we come back here?" Jonathan looked at his son, then at Sophie, who was already attending to another table, her warmth undiminished. He nodded. "Yeah, buddy," he said. "We can." That night, Jonathan made a decision. He asked around and learned Sophie was working double shifts to pay for nursing school. Without telling her, he anonymously set up a fund to cover her tuition. It wasn't charity. It was a thank you, for reminding him what truly mattered. When Sophie found out weeks later, she cried. Not because of the money, but because, for the first time in a long while, someone had seen her the way she had seen Oliver, not as a burden, not as a project, but as a person worth investing in. And in that small act of kindness, both their lives changed forever.